Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome back to the slightly less rusty MPI, I guess. Yeah, if you haven't watched the previous episode, please go check that out, otherwise this one won't make much sense. We are now at the point where the scuttle needs to go in. So I've marked off on the sides how far this scuttle comes up to. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to use the whole of it yet. I might trim it down on each edges, but we really need to get the scuttle in its place. We know the glass fits, we know everything's good to go there, we know we've got a nice bonnet gap. I'm happy with it. It's a good heritage panel. They're really good heritage scuttles, so I have no problems with that. So point of call is see how much of it I want to trim. There's a big part of me that kind of just wants to cut the car and use as much of the new panel as possible, but I'm going to see what's underneath it and see what's, because I've obviously got a clamp there, need to just see how far up I've already cut and stuff like that, and we move on from there. So a bit of a plan of action moving forward. We're going to get this in, so we need seam welding sides, and then obviously we'll get the spot welder back out and we'll do all along there to make it look as nice as possible, and then it's sort of tacked on top of the inner wings. After that, we really do need to start working on the front end. So if you haven't seen the previous episode, like I mentioned, it won't make much sense what I mean by that. So I can show you a bit more now. I've lifted the wings back off. The front panel, I think, is at fault. I off camera I've had a bit of a look. It's out of shape, is the best way to put it, but also how it's folded in the pressing, well, you'll see in a second, it's overlapped. So it's too far in, it shouldn't be there. So it is what it is. There's no one at fault for that, apart from just really poor pressings of panels. I believe the presses are getting older and older, more and more used, therefore they're just getting a bit tired. They're not doing the shapes they should be doing. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll work with what we've got. Everyone at the end of the day is on a budget to get a car on the road, and there is nothing wrong with putting this panel on this car. It's just going to take a bit of work. So like mentioned, and a few people mentioned in the comments of the previous one, you like a challenge, Mark, so yeah, why not? Let's just get on with it. So, but before we do any of this video, I really want to get the scuttle in. A lot of people ask, can they see the scuttle video? I've done a couple of scuttles now. I wouldn't say I do it the right way, I wouldn't say I do it the wrong way, but they're in on the car, they're solid, and they've been fine for years. So like I said, seam weld either side, spot welds along top. I do try and paint underneath it first, so I'll do that off camera. So basically I'm just going to pick a body colour. The closest colour I've got to this car is my Kingfisher blue, so underneath I'm going to try and paint it potentially. If not, I'll just satin black it, and that's what I've done on a lot of cars, so it doesn't look out of place. But you're obviously never going to see it again, but you shouldn't just leave your e-coating, because it's just not the best thing to do, really. That being said, heritage e-coating is a lot better than pattern e-coating. You probably noticed in the previous episode that these panels at the front, where they've marked, they've already started to rust a little bit, but that is no issue. You can just sand that back. It's just where it's been open to the elements. So it's like the storage marks, like there's a little bit on the lip there, but it's not hard to sort that out. But yeah, let's just crack on. Let's get on with it. So what I was saying on here is I don't know whether to just cut the car here. It's quite hard to get this off otherwise from the car. Obviously you can see it's got a little bit of surface corrosion there. That's not a problem. It's absolutely solid. So obviously you have to clean all this back anyway to be able to put this panel in. So what I'm thinking of doing, I think I've cut the car about here, because obviously we had to repair all of this because it wasn't there. So I'm probably going to cut the panel here and put it back sort of where it was. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty happy with how it's fitting. Got a sticker left on it there. You always take your stickers off. But yeah, let's get this panel in and fitted, and then we can start cleaning all this back once and for all, working on the front end. Right, so just used a little belt sander there just to clean back this edge. So we've got a nice clean surface to work on. You saw over on that side, I cleaned up there a little bit more. That's purely because there's a bit of corrosion up there. So what I do is we get the scuttle on, and then we just make sure it's completely gone, a bit of rust treatment. But yeah, happy at that. Just got to get the panel trimmed now and get it all ready to go. So I did a lot of trimming, checking off camera, guys. I think we're in the right place. So I've got my same measurements, got the nice gap still all the way along there. Got this down here. What I'm going to have to do is just the profile. It's just a little bit off on the panel here. It's not very hard to get around that. You just literally tap it down. So obviously all this panel needs cleaning. We've cleaned the car, got rid of any rot that we need. So yeah, I'm going to trim, just tidy that back. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. It's got a nice, it's fitting nice. One thing I have noticed, I've got a little piece to put on top of the flitch here, so I need to do that first, because I just checked with the closer panel and it doesn't cover it. Obviously we don't want any water ingress in there, so we need to sort that out. But yeah, pretty happy with that. The line follows nicely around there on both sides. So this side I've left more of the panel in because there is more corrosion on this side. But again, this is perfect here. It's nigh on perfect, the fit here. So pretty happy with that. Again, nice gap all the way along. It's, yeah, I think it's coming together. So just 2 clamps hold it absolutely rock solid, which is good. We obviously know the screen fits now, which is all good. So we haven't got to worry about that aspect of it. What we're going to have to do is just gonna do a little tiny corner in that piece over there. I don't want to do that on camera. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of metal in, grind it back, tidy it back, prime it, and then we can look at getting this fitted to the car once and for all. But yeah, I hope you guys can agree that it takes some fettling, and if I filmed all my fettling, the video would be like 45 minutes long, if not longer. So basically all I've done is, you saw the masking tape I used, just masked off what I thought I needed gone, locked that off, got the worst bit out of the way, then just use a flat disc until I got to where I want. Just keep fitting it. It's the best advice I can give, but I'm pretty happy with that. So we just need to sort this out now and then move forward. Right guys, so off camera I've done the little repairs each side of the top of the bulkhead. So basically the flitch panel was just a little bit too short on the repairs. This car was just more rotten on the panel basically. But yeah, we're ready to go. It's primer between these 2 panels. Obviously clean these 2 edges up so I can get good penetration with the spot welder. Just crack on, let's get it on. It's a big set for this car, so gonna seam weld here with the MIG. Anywhere else where I can't get to the spot welder, and obviously as much spot welds across here as possible. So let's crack on. Right, so just letting the spot welder cool down, but buzzing with that. So finally getting fixed onto the car. So obviously I need to MIG weld these bits. I'm just trying to spread the heat a little bit, obviously working with the welder. But yeah, really happy. It's part of the car now. Boom, there you go guys, there we have it. All done. I've not finished grinding this back, I just wanted to get it somewhere right so I knew I was right in the profile, so I just need a little bit nicking off it. Obviously I need a skimper filler when the car comes to paint, but hey, we're on. Really happy with that gap all the way along, it's consistent, so really happy with that. Spot welder's made a really nice job of it all. Again, just taking the worst of it off to make sure I was good to go. But yeah, very, very happy. So I'll get some primer on that, and then we'll move on to the next part of the build. Remember guys, liking these videos really helps the channel, it helps us get recognised, it helps us be able to produce more and more videos, so please smash that like button if you haven't already, and drop a comment in them below. There we have it guys, all done. Really, really happy with that. Spot welder makes light work of that. Like mentioned before, when you spot welder, it's just about prep, you really have got to clean it up. Some spot welders have gone nicer and cleaner than others, but that is purely because maybe it hit a bit of dirty metal and it spat back. But all in all, I'm really quite happy with it. It's going to be fine. We're going to, obviously that's not the finished article, got to tidy these back in the corners here, but I'm going to get some stronger, better sanding pads for my belt sander, because it's just not meaty enough to get in there. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some clips in if I can find them, which I'm pretty sure I have, of what it looked like before, and you can kind of see where this car's come from. So here's the moment of truth. So obviously I just did that on time lapse, and you couldn't hear the noise it was making. Oh dear. Oh my god. Whoa! Oh, should be hearing problems in there. No, it's sealant, it's okay. Oh my days. Right, I've got to bring you guys in for a look at that. Oh my days. So, yeah, there should be car here. That is incredibly poorly. Don't worry, I'm not cutting myself, there isn't any metal to cut myself on. So. That whole bit there. Well, I don't think I need a cutter for the gas rail. That's just going to fall out, unfortunately. Oh dear. It's held on by that. Oh my days. I really want this car done. I really want to see it with the front end back on it. That is our next big task. If you've seen the previous video, you'll see that the front at the moment really doesn't fit very well. So what we're going to do is whip the front panel off in the next episode. Make sure it's in the right place, which I'm pretty sure it is. I think I need to take a little bit more out of this inner wing repair that I've done, just to allow it to sit back a bit further. And then we're going to start fettling with that. But in this episode, it's not really been a how to do a scuttle, but I like to think that you guys could go and do this at home now. This is, I think, the third scuttle I've done now, and we've got one to do on the 89 as well, so I'm definitely not going to get away from doing these for a little while. But it's just taking your time. This is what makes and shapes your front end, so it really is take double the amount of time, if not triple the amount of time doing this than you do your front end, because if this isn't in the right place, then you're never going to get your front end fit straight. So yeah, really happy. Thank you for the comments in the previous episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next episode, like mentioned, we're going to start playing around with the front end, get that fitted, playing around with a few ideas. I've watched Max Green's older videos of his red hot, or jet black, sorry, that he did, and he took the front end and wings off, welded them, then put them on after he got them set how he wanted them. And for access, I think that's quite a nice way of doing it, but we'll see how we get on. I normally just weld the front panel on, then put the wings on and stuff like that, so we'll play around a bit. We might try a different technique, but we're going to have to muck around with this car quite a bit to get the front straight. So if you haven't already, please check out our sponsors Frost, the link in the description below. And yeah, stay safe guys, look after yourselves, and stay tuned for the next episode when we get even more fresh metal on this car and hopefully make it look like a Mini again.